Hi there, hey there, ho there, and all those other theres that we might want to use at this particular point in time. This is the weekly meeting of the Tulsa World Scene section to discuss all and sundry in the world of arts, entertainment, and home improvement. I'm here with the lovely and talented Grace Wood. I'm here with the lovely and talented Jimmie Tramel, and I'm Jim Watts. It is about the first of the year when everybody makes plans to um, improve themselves in one way or another. And I think, Grace, you've been investigating ways of improving oneself.
I have. And yeah, before I talk about what I've been working on, I wanted to ask both of you if either of you had New Year's resolutions or maybe set any personal goals for 2022.
Well, and then the next question is, and how soon did you break them? So that's the next question. So, Brother Trammell?
Maybe just be more disciplined in my use of spare time, because it's so easy to fall into habits of this is what I always do when I have spare time. And then the stuff that the big picture stuff that you really want to get around to, you never do, because I will just fall into my habit of same day, every day. I'll watch this at 7 p.m. or I'll read this, or the worst thing I did last year was plug in a Super Tecmo Bowl video game from like the 1990s. I just dug it out of mothballs, plugged it in. And now once I get going, it's like 2 hours later, can I please get these 2 hours of my life back? Better use of my spare time. How about you?
Gotcha.
I don't know. I've for a variety of reasons have not I've decided that I just need to be a little more, let's see how to put it. I know how to be idle. I really don't know how to relax. You know, I mean, there are, it's easy to, you know, vegetate in a recliner and just read or just watch something. And the idea of doing something that is actually truly relaxing, that also expands, you know, yourself a little bit. I need to learn to relax. I need to be ordered to relax. So, but naturally, yeah. And that lasted maybe about, I don't know, 12 hours before I messed that up. So how about you, Grace?
Funny you ask. So one of my goals for 2022 was to become more organized. And it's funny actually, because my mom is a professional organizer for a living, but I still really struggle with it in my own home. So for that reason, the story that I wrote for this Saturday is kind of all about how to get your home organized and decluttered for the new year so you can get the year started on the right foot. So I talked to 4 professional organizers in Tulsa, and they shared a lot of really valuable knowledge with me. But I thought I would share one thing that I thought was really particularly interesting that they talked about. And something that a couple of them brought up was the importance of expiration dates. And obviously, like, we all know how important it is to check expiration dates on like food items or things in our pantries. But what a lot of people, including myself, don't really think about is the fact that most of our bath and toiletry items expire too. So a great way to clean up your bathroom, which can be a place that, you know, kind of accumulates a lot of clutter, is to go through and check the expiration dates on a lot of your products and toss out anything that's past its prime. And this will help you kind of clean out the clutter. And then that way you can actually see what you have. You won't buy more than you need, and that will save you money in the long run. So that was just, you know, an interesting tidbit that I hadn't really thought about before.
And I actually did that yesterday.
Oh, very good.
My my late wife was the sort of person that always took a shopping list with her and then ignored it. And she would think, oh, I want to have something, so I better get this, which is why I currently have 7.5 bottles of balsamic vinegar in the pantry. But I was looking at something, some kind of ointment that you know, like for arthritis and joints and that kind of a thing. And I thought I would try it, being of the age where these things are important. And what came out of the little pump was rather frightening. And so I turned the thing over, looked at it, and it had expired in 2017. And so I had that image of, there's a commercial of a ladies, you know, standing in front of a open refrigerator and pulling stuff out, yelling, expired, expired. And that came to mind. And so I gathered them all up. There were, me, my wife, having bought them 3. And they have gone the way of all the world now. So
What is your tolerance on expiration dates food-wise? I mean, Elaine from Seinfeld ate a cake that was like decades or centuries old. What is you guys' tolerance on a food expiration date? How far do you push it and you say, I can't do this?
well, if you believe the film Journey to the Center of the Earth, the Chinese ate eggs that were thousands of years old. But it depends on what it is. I mean, if it's something like, you know, dairy or meat or, you know, anything like that, yeah. If the sell-by dates get close, it's like, no. But I mean, they put a sell-by date on packages of instant ramen. Seriously, that stuff, you know, cockroaches will live on that after the nuclear holocaust. So that's my thought. I don't canned goods, you know, they haven't. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, especially like with meat and dairy products. But I think my general rule of thumb is just, you know, maybe give it a quick smell test and see what's going on and see how I feel. But yeah, I did have a pretty bad experience with a carton of milk one time. So I tend to err like a little bit more on the side of caution, but I'll always give things, you know, quick sniff just to see.
I'll weigh it financially. Like, how much is it worth for me not to get sick? If I have to pay this $2 thing, it's really worth $2 to not be sick. So I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Yeah, I one time had a bad experience with a milk carton, but then I realized, no, it wasn't me on the side. So what have you got coming up for this week, Jimmie?
We all love Betty White, am I right? Everybody love Betty White? Who doesn't like Betty White? Raise your hand. I mean, holy smokes. An 80-year career, she would have been 100 on Monday. And these documentary filmmakers had planned a 100-year birthday party for Betty White, one-night only movie event. And, you know, unfortunately, she passed away on the last day of 2021. So they're going forward with the movie Monday, January 17th, but instead of being a birthday celebration, it'll just be a long look at her life, and we'll feature her last on-camera appearance, and I heard she says something very poignant in her last on-camera appearance. But I think I may, you know, dig this enough to go to the theater on Monday. I'll also have a story on an Oklahoma music artist named Kaitlin Butts. We won't give away details here, but she's getting a nice little unexpected career boost, almost like hitting the music lottery. But so I've got Kaitlin Butts, Betty White coming out in the Tulsa World.
All right. What we have coming, well, it should be out now. We did a roundup of new barbecue joints in the city. We talked about a place called, or a food truck called 1907. 1907 Barbecue that is going to be moving later this year into Mother Road Market, and another truck called Killer Whale Barbecue, which is at Heritage Rustic Ales parking lot. And then Adam Green and Hunter Gamble have gone together for what they're calling Cade's Kitchen, where they're serving up quick serve barbecue out of the Cade's Ballroom. Are either of you barbecue fans or connoisseurs, and do you have favorite places?
Hmm. I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur, but I'm definitely a fan. I love Albert G's. It's right by my house, so I definitely treat myself to some Albert G's sometimes. And my brother is really into barbecuing as well, and he makes some of the best pork ribs I've ever had. So love barbecue.
Okay. Jimmie?
I'll answer the question with a question. I do love it's not barbecue, but I love the roasted potatoes at JL's Barbecue in Pryor. I love the smoked mac and cheese, which is not barbecue, at Burnco. I mean, it's really unusual mac and cheese. But some towns are known as barbecue towns. Kansas City, Memphis. Is Tulsa a barbecue town?
It's working that way. It's kind of a melting pot. A lot of what there are places here that are trying to replicate what's called the Central Texas style, which is very simple as far as seasonings go. It's usually just salt and pepper, and it all is about how the smoke and length of cooking and all that. But people who say they are Oklahoma style barbecue, it's kind of a mix of the simplicity of Texas style and the slightly more elaborate Kansas City style, which is the more sauce, a little more sweet, a lot more complex in the rubs. So it kind of the best way to determine is if it's a quote Oklahoma barbecue joint end quote is if they have barbecue bologna on the menu. You go anywhere else in the country and mention that, and the reactions of people are either dumbfounded or horrified. But that's what if Oklahoma is known for anything in the barbecue world right now, is that we barbecue bologna, which, if done well, can be wonderful. So, all right. Well, other things that we have coming up, we'll have the Signature Symphony at TCC has begun not begun, but they are getting into the final stages of their search for a new conductor. And we'll have an interview with the first candidate coming in town, a man named Scott Seaton. So that'll be coming up this Sunday. So, well, I see by the clock on the wall that we've not used up our time limit. So want to thank Grace and Jimmie for joining me in this thing. It gets very lonely in the Zoom world by yourself. So thank you all for watching. You can also find this, if you'd rather listen and not look at us, on such places as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So just look for Tulsa World Scene. And if you want to read about all the things we've been writing about, that's available in the Tulsa World at fine retailers everywhere or online at tulsaworld.com. So until then, be well, write your mother once in a while, and send us the blue pages.
Behave.
Bye.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.